Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. And one of the best things about undergoing this Gladiator Challenge to get 2400 Arena rating and 3v3 on all classes this season is getting to just try everything that's available in the game. I've been really enjoying my time on Enhancement Shaman, which this video is going to be focused on, and kind of discussing the things that I like about it, what makes it fun, what makes it powerful throughout this match, and describing that to you so that hopefully I can sell it to you because it's going to be a great experience for you. Some of the best things about Enhancement Shaman is the fact that you are a hybrid, so you're not only just going to be crushing your opponents, but able to support and keep your teammates alive simultaneously. So if you want that hybrid experience, you're definitely going to feel those good vibes on the Enhancement Shaman, and you're not really going to be giving up too much damage in exchange for that. More often than not, I was at the top of the damage meter in most of these fights. So if you're worried about kind of falling off and not being too much damage, you don't really need to worry about that, especially if you're running Eventier Enhancement Shaman. Your Chain Harvest is going to be doing a lot of the work, a lot of the heavy lifting. I really do like the Skybreaker legendary to get my Chain Harvest on a shorter cooldown. And speaking about the hybrid strength of this spec, fighting against Rogue Mage is when you're going to maximize that utility. You always want to try and be in the heads of your opponents and guessing where they're going to be attacking next, and then preempting their moves, getting a pre-grounding totem, a pre-wall, a pre-healing stream totem, trying to set up some of your defense and your nest before the enemies begin their attack. So right now we're just trying to figure out who are they going to be going after, and it looks like me. Usually when the enemies have used combustion, it's the best time to use a medallion. It's the best time to use a powerful cooldown. So in this instance, our paladin is out of crowd control and able to use sacrifice. If you're playing with a paladin, I think using paladin cooldowns first over your personal cooldowns is better, because they have so many cooldowns they can use on their allies that they're going to rotate up and be more effective that way. So definitely use the paladin cooldowns first. As soon as you've survived, turn it around, get aggressive, run down the rogue. The rogue disappears, just turn your targeting to something else that's nearby, maxing out your damage onto that target instead, keeping your flame shocks on as many targets as possible so that we can keep resetting our Chain Harvest towards the next attack. Now, because they went after me, I'm anticipating they're going to attack me again, and it can be really difficult to predict this because the rogue is currently in stealth and we don't know where they are. So trying to like pre-wall from stealth can be very dangerous and very risky. Right now we've got the priest and a hammer of justice. It's unlikely they want to really begin their attack while the priest is crowd controlled, but then they start casting polymorphs, and this is usually the first signal that they're going to start crowd controlling. But they've kind of left me open here. They haven't stunned me, and they've CC'd all my partners, so that's my immediate cue to use my astral shift, because as soon as Dragon's Breath is on a target, as soon as Chastise is on target, they are committed to that go, because they won't be able to initiate it again without those spells. So you can activate your defensives like the Astral Shift for the Enhancement Shaman, completely negate that attack, and hold on to more vital cooldowns into the future to stop the next attack. So I'll have my medallion to trinket out of a smoke bomb, or to trinket and wind shear a polymorph, and I can keep extending my cooldowns. Now once we've predicted their attack and survived, we're going to have to turn it around. So we're attacking whatever's nearby. The rogue in this instance is a little bit too far away, although they would be a great target right now because they have no medallion to escape crowd control. This RMP is doing a really good job of just being annoying and not letting us connect to anything. Mind controlling our warrior, polymorphing myself. Coordinating our interrupts at this time would be good, but I don't have my wind shear, I don't have my grounding totem, so trying to stop all of this crowd control is just not going to be possible. So balancing your disruption to allow yourself to be offensive as well as save yourself when you need to be defensive is usually where the high part of the skill cap is going to be for this specialization. I can see the priest using Greater Fade here, and now Dragon's Breath has been committed, which means they're beginning their assault. So we need to get ready here. Our warrior has disrupted some of the crowd control with a pummel onto that Ring of Frost. I'm still staring at the party frames. I see my paladin's not in any crowd control, so I'm just going to sit through the stun lock and then allow the paladin to kind of save me and use my Maelstrom to heal during this time. We also have Chain Harvest, so this is going to be an immediate top off, as well as put them on the back foot right when we want to start getting aggressive, which is immediately after their stun lock. So rotating one cooldown after the next to always just make sure we're using as little as possible. That's what you want to be able to survive. Then as soon as we've survived, stunning the rogue, trying to blast them, Fortunately, we're getting polymorphed right now. Would be really good to be dispelled here. But the Hammer of Justice does ultimately get the Priest Trinket, putting us into a good position. There's still some other threatening things like Smoke Bomb in this matchup as an Enhancement Shaman that you really want to be ready to use your Trinket on, as well as Combustion that you want to be ready to use your Trinket on. But always look to see what your partners are doing as well. As soon as we jump back onto the Mage here, because we're in an offensive position, we want to be using our Maelstrom on Lightning Bolts, on Chain Harvest. But I do see my Warrior sitting in a blind. This is likely to set up crowd control for their go. So we're trying to anticipate, are they going to go after me or my Paladin? Still not really any good targets for them. We're in a good position. We can use our Lightning Totem here to lock the Rogue and Mage away from us and drop a Capacitator Totem. And I love comboing those spells together, that double Totem combo, because you can trap enemies next to your stun and they don't have time to get out of it, or they have to commit some damage to kill it, and it puts them behind. So it can be really good for disrupting their attack or holding them in position for your own attack, and just a super satisfying animation and combination of spells. I really love animation and combination like that. So hopefully we see more introduction of that type of stuff moving forward into the next expansion with Dragonflight. I remember them talking about 10.1, I guess it would be at that time, where they want to try and bring in more honor talents like they did with Shadowlands 9.1. So I'm very excited for that. Would love to see more animation combos like that. But now we're in a great position. We've got our Astral Shift. We've survived the Smoke Bomb, and we can just kind of do damage to the Mage. We have a lot of cooldowns to be able to trade in this position, wait for the Rogue. Again, ultimately, I think the Rogue is a better target if they're playing Subtlety. They're going to be squishier to take down than the Mage or the Priest, but you just need to be attacking something if the Rogue has decided to completely retreat from the engagement, to always burning down the enemy healer's mana. And that is kind of the main goal of the Turbo, is to just slowly grind down their targets with damage, and then predict enemy attacks and set up a fortification before that attack is hit. So here I pre-Earth Shield myself. I'm behind the pillar and I'm line of sighting the Rogue, and this is because I see Chastise on my Paladin and I see Dragon's Breath on my Warrior. So if I line of sight them during those points, I won't be getting stunned. And then when they switch back to a different target, I can come in and disrupt with Wind Shear. I can try and Hex. I can use Grounding Totem if I need to, and save my partner. So being far away just as the attack is about to begin, you want to be tracking diminishing returns on yourself, will allow you to predict that, be in their heads, and then get into a better position and outmaneuver them. That is the best case situation I could get right there, is to be able to be out of line of sight of the Rogue right when they've used Chastise or Dragon's Breath, so that we're not triple stunned. It's just to try and avoid that triple stun. Now we've survived, time to get aggressive again onto the Rogue, try and run them down as much as possible, maximize our damage using Storm Strike, using Lava Lash to reset Flame Shock, getting Flame Shock onto multiple targets. So we're resetting our Chain Harvest, to which we actually have available. And this can be one of the tougher decisions on Enhance, is do I use this Chain Harvest now to do damage, we're all at full health, or do I save this Chain Harvest to heal myself from the next attack, right? And this is like the most difficult gamble, I think, against Rogue Mage. It is better to save it in this case, so that I have some recovery mechanics, unless it's a guaranteed kill. Like the Priest is in a stun, no way out of the stun, target I'm hitting has no cooldowns. It's more value. You could shoot it for damage at that point. Here we get Kidney Shot. Warriors in crowd control. We get Blessing of Protection out of the Kidney Shot, so now we should be able to stabilize. We don't have Tremor for Fear, unfortunately, here, so their Paladin's going to sit that fear, but you do want to always be aware of tremoring fears onto your healer or your team, because that's one great utility you bring as an Enhancement Shaman. Now in this position, we've got Flame Shocks up. I'm using my Healing Surges. I've used my Chain Harvest. I've got my Feral Spirits out. This is a very powerful attack. Now it's time to drop that Lightning Totem combo. Love that. Just bouncing people into the center of it, creating chaos, getting 2 trinkets on that Cap Totem. Super satisfying play that you can make with the Enhancement Shaman, especially great to combo when you have things like the Feral Spirits or the Chain Harvest to AoE melt everybody down once you've got them in that little lightning blender ball. Then we can chase down the Mage, focusing on stopping their polymorphs so they don't stop our pursuit and negate our damage output during this time, because when we're on stun DR, we need to just be getting as much damage as possible, like I've been saying. And then once our teammates can reconnect here, we should be able to start pushing closer and closer to the kill. The Priest is at now 10,000 mana. We're getting as close as we could. We've stunned the Priest. Great opportunity to drop our Maelstrom offensively, use our Lava Lash procs, and try and just dump as much damage out as possible. I do see the Priest repositioning towards the Paladin now, though, and I see the Mage as well, and the Rogue is out of stealth, which is likely triggering me to think, oh, they're about to start their attack, and what do you know, a few seconds later, double Dragon's Breath and Chastise. So this time we've all been triple crowd controlled. Our trinket isn't coming up for 1 more second, and look at what happens. It's devastating. We trinket a little bit late, and then we end up overlapping a lot of cooldowns with our Paladin in this position. But again, Combustion and Smoke Bomb are going to be the scariest points in the game, especially as an Enhancement Shaman. So using cooldowns like this in an overabundance, it is a mistake. mistake, but likely a forced mistake. If my paladin had been closer to me, it would have been better. And that's sometimes what you have to do when you don't have a trinket. You want your healer to be nearby so they can trinket and help you. But then immediately after surviving that, we're finally able to connect to the rogue. He's no longer slippery, and just dump him down with a Stormbolt there. And that's the type of coordination that you really want to be trying to perfect. I was playing with LFG at this time and still trying to climb through my Gladiator challenge with no voice. So that type of coordination is not going to be the most expected, but you can see I was top of the damage, able to support my team with healing, able to lock down enemies with stuns and mobility inhibiting effects. Super fun spec. I love trying to just like predict enemy attacks and then set up, turn it around, and blast people down. It is a very good time right now. So definitely recommend it. And other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, leave it with a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. I am trying my hardest right now to get to 40,000 subscribers. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news and patch changes to the game so you're ahead of the competition, then being subscribed to the channel is going to access you to a great resource to do that. So thank you very much once again, and I will catch you in the next video.